Now, hopefully I'm in the right live. Okay, good, because I tried to go live like 3 times. It kept giving me the wrong video. Hello, everybody. Okay, so we had a fun day today. We had, well, I got up super early, like after 3 hours of sleep. So I started thinking about this cereal bag thing that I wanted to do for the junk journals. So I do have a video on that I did. And then we had a good time because we tried wrapping paper, and then Philly Farmhouse recommended that we try fabric, so we did that. Then kids had a friend over last night, so he actually, oh my gosh, he went swimming, which I can't even believe, because I went semi-swimming after my bike ride, and it was ice cold, even though it was really warm. When you got down low, I said, well, I don't know, I just wanted, this is probably the last time ever, so I took like a little like half swim thing. And then what did I do? I biked 6.5 miles, walked about a mile. Then Jimmy and I were going to go out for ice cream with the kids because they were going to go fish at another place with their friends, and then we were going to pick them up. So we picked them up at like 7:30, maybe it was almost 8 o'clock. I'm trying to think. Something like that, because it was dark. Went and got ice cream, which was really nice, and then we went home, and then one of our something on my mouth. One of our ramblers had a gender reveal video, and we got to watch that in Zoom, so that was fun, and find out what that was all about. So that was fun, and then did some more crafting, and just, it was a beautiful day. I mean, just riding, and it was gorgeous. And it's supposed to be this for a few more days at least, so that's good. I don't have to take my plants in yet. Anyway, my daughter is also in the air right now, on her way to Scotland. So, good thoughts. And let me see. Prayers, good thoughts, White Angel. Hi, everybody. And what else? Oh, and then after this true crime live, and there's a missing Amber Alert for a missing girl up in the Albany area from a state park. I tell you, those state parks, they freak me out. I'm going to address some lies and some threats, and, well, we'll talk after. All right, let's talk about this. We got some really crazy stuff in going on here in our world. There are so many people that are just showing up, ending up dead. We've got the former assistant of the Duchess of York found dead in Dallas. We've got another husband who allegedly killed his wife. We've got a mother. Horrific things with a toddler daughter. So let's go on with this. I don't know, Sassy. I guess you missed out on the big news. All right, let's go ahead. Let me pull this. Where's our... I don't know where I put my little thing here. Here we go. Come on. You know what I didn't do? Okay, hang on just 1 second. Don't do this to me now. Hi, Painted Black. Hi, Cranky Babishka. How are you? Okay, so let's pull this over here. I really need my glasses lately. Okay. All right, so let's put the picture of this little girl. Hopefully she's found well and alive. Okay, this is not wanting to. Trying to get her picture up here because somebody's missing. We want to put a picture up, right? Let me just close something down here. See if that helps us out. Okay. Maybe that'll close that. Close that. Close that. Okay. Hopefully that should be better in a second here. So just that close all tabs there. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Come on. Jimmy was talking to me about a case when we were going to pick up the kids. Something about some man with a stepdaughter who was a senior in high school. Did you guys hear this one? And she's never been heard from again. It seems like from what he was saying, the suspicion may be falling on him. Sorry, this is like really taking me off here. Let me get this over here. I'm going to give you one more chance. Oh, here we go. Okay. This is the little girl who's missing, and I don't know why they cut off the top of her head in that picture. Let me get another picture of her up here. Come on. Oh, this is annoying as all get out, huh? Please. All right. Oh my goodness. So she was last seen around 6:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And she is missing she vanished while biking on a camping trip at a state park in upstate New York near Albany. She's 9 years old. Her name is Charlotte Sena. She was camping in Moreau Lake State Park with her family. She went on a bike ride with close friends around dinner time on Saturday evening. The governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, gave this information during a press conference and saying after biking a couple of loops together, she just wanted to go around one more time by herself. She wanted to be a big girl and do it by herself, according to the governor. She didn't return. 15 minutes later, her parents knew immediately something was up. They started to call her name. People from other campgrounds joined the search. The little girl was last seen 6:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, riding her bike in one of the park's loops. At around 6:45 p.m., her bike was found in the loop. 2 minutes later, her mother called authorities to report her missing. Charlotte was last seen wearing an orange tie-dyed Pokemon shirt, dark blue pants, black Crocs, and a gray bike helmet. She is white with blonde hair, 4'6" tall, green eyes. An Amber Alert was issued on Sunday morning, and Lieutenant Colonel Richard L. Mazzone of the New York State Police said, and I quote, "We took that step of issuing the Amber Alert because we felt after our exhaustive search, when we couldn't find her here, it was quite possible that an abduction had taken place. For more than 18 hours, state authorities have been searching for the child and have deployed aviation and underwater rescue teams, bloodhounds, drones, and technology experts have also been called in to analyze other forms of communications in the park at that time. Charlotte is the niece of a member of the Schenectady Fire Department who is also helping with the search. We are leaving no stone unturned, no branch, no table, no cabin unturned, untouched, unexamined in our search to find Charlotte," said the governor. "If you know anything, if you've seen anything, if you hear anything, please contact 911 to tell us what you know." Charlotte is a 4th grader who was recently elected to be a class officer for student council. "Hearts are broken here today in New York. Hopefully there will be a reunion. Hopefully there will be a family that has been traumatized but is reunited. That is our prayer and our hope." Ours too, yeah. Morrow Lake State Park in Saratoga County is more than 4,600 acres and lies amid hardwood forests, pine stands, and rocky ridges. It's roughly 45 minutes north of Albany. The park is closed until further notice. So, it's kind of really anxiety. I can't imagine her poor family, and just prayers that she's found alive and well. It's horrible. Oh my gosh. You go, that's like one of those things, again, you go there to have a really good time and never expecting anything like this. Unbelievable. Okay, so let me just catch up with this. Oops. Gosh, everything I touch here is just... These state parks, you know, I don't know. There's just so much that happens in them. And I mean, yeah, okay, it's large, vast amounts of land, but it's just there. So many freaking things happen in these state parks. Okay, I'm waiting for my computer to respond. But yeah, I don't know where. What happened? Did somebody abduct her? Why would the bike be there? Somebody called her over, leave your bike there. I mean, how was exactly the bike found? Was it put over on the side? Was it, were there any fingerprints that they could have gotten from them? I don't know. I don't know. Lots of questions. Okay. Lots of questions. All right, let me just get back to the chat for a quick minute here. Hey, Julie W. Hi, it's Bank. White Angel, Kevin Leonard, Margot, Linda, Meredith, Barb. Hello, everybody. Sad story. I hope that it has a happy ending. Parents are going through hell now. Cranky, Deborah, Sassy. Okay, sorry if I missed anybody in there. Liza, my coffee's black. Okay, so let's go on to talk about what's next. So next we're going to talk about the former assistant of the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, who was found dead in Dallas. Okay. All right. So there's been a suspect arrested in that death. But let's take a look at what's going on. So of course this is Sarah Ferguson. And so her former assistant was found dead in Dallas. Now they have a suspect arrested. Oh man. White Angel's going to get so upset. White Angel, I know you're so upset about my memory on my computer. Oh, and K-Rox, if it's you, I didn't get, obviously, I did not. I had such a crazy day. I did not get to the PayPal things, but I am going to work on them tomorrow, okay? All right, so let me do that tomorrow. Okay, so here's a picture of the assistant. Dallas police say officers found Janine Chapman dead inside her apartment on Monday. Suspects in custody, and her family said it's her, fill in the blank, it's her husband. Family members of Janine Chapman mourn the loss of their family member sister, 46 years old. Sarah Ferguson posted on Instagram a picture of herself seated next to Chapman from years ago when she was Sarah Ferguson's assistant, and said, "I am shocked and saddened to learn that Janine Chapman, who worked with me as my personal assistant many years ago, has been murdered in Dallas, aged just 46. A suspect is in custody." The Duchess of York, wow, she's 63, goes on to describe what it was like to work with Chapman along with her efforts to help the family with funeral and legal fees. She also asked others to make a donation. Janine was loyal, hardworking, beautiful, and fun, and my heart breaks for her family and friends. I heard from her just a couple of months ago, and she seemed so happy. Her family is raising money to transport her body back to New York City and pay for legal and funeral costs. She's had a plethora of accolades throughout the years, and then in her last role, she was senior vice president at Critical Mass over digital marketing. Also, in conjunction with that, she was about to start her own business, said her sister, her younger sister, Crystal Marshall. Chapman's family said that her employer called the police to check in on her when they hadn't seen her show up for work. Dallas police say officers arrived at the apartments in the 1400 block of Elm Street on Monday around 1:15 for a wellness check, and they found Janine dead inside her apartment. On Tuesday, Dallas County Medical Examiner's Office determined her death was a homicide. The family said investigators believe her body may have been there for several days. On Wednesday, the DPD said 48-year-old James Patrick was arrested in Austin, Texas by the University of Texas police and would be charged with her murder. The family described the suspect as Chapman's husband of about 2 months. We are relieved. We have been in constant contact with the detective, and he made us aware of the arrest, explained Crystal. We're happy at this point that an arrest has been made, but we're definitely not stopping, and we don't want to get the word, and we want to get the word out for sure. We want this investigation to go smoothly. Janine deserves justice for what happened to her. Police have not released a motive and they are not saying how Chapman was murdered. Her sisters described the relationship between Janine and her husband of 2 months as toxic. We were shocked because before that, it was an on-again, off-again relationship. It was rocky. We were aware of that. She broke the news to our mother about the marriage, and of course, our mother told us, and yeah, we definitely didn't see that coming, and no, there was no wedding, so we weren't involved, unfortunately, explained another sister, Nicole Marshall. The family said they don't personally know Patrick that well. They're not sharing too many details about the case or the relationship because they don't want to jeopardize the police investigation. We are seeking justice for her, and we are willing to do anything in our power to make sure that happens and seek the fullest extent of the law to make sure this guy stays behind bars, her sister Nicole said. As of Friday, Patrick was still in the Travis County Jail in Austin. It's unclear when he will be extradited to Dallas or if he has an attorney. Wow, 2 months, but it's not like they've had a crazy relationship before that. Oh, wow. Terrible. Okay. And next. Hi, Christina Ferrara. How are you? Hi, Teresa. Is that Teresa? Where's Teresa W? Is that Teresa W? Is that you? Did you drop the W? Liza Ward. What did I miss? Okay, let's go to now. How are we doing on time? We're doing great on time. All right, let me go to our next thing here. Okay. Well, let me go and get our third story of the night here. Okay, you know, this first, I thought this was the other woman in Indiana. Here we go. An Indiana mother was arrested this week and charged with neglecting her toddler daughter to death, nearly a year after the little girl died at Riley's Children's Hospital in Indianapolis. Cheyenne Hill is now charged with neglect, leading to the 18-month-old toddler's death. So let's look at this probable cause affidavit because it is just, you won't believe some of the stuff in here, okay? And it concerns Jeffrey Dahmer and just really nutty stuff. Okay. Right. You'll open up the file here. Okay, so it's Captain James E. Sloan has probable cause to believe that Cheyenne and Hill, 7 Maple Ridge Apartments, Bedford, Indiana, did between October 24th, 2022 and November 23rd, 2022 commit the following criminal offenses in the county of Lawrence, Indiana, in violation of Indiana law to wit: neglect of a dependent, support medical care, level 1 felony. This probable cause is based upon the following facts and circumstances. Based upon my personal knowledge, on November 23rd, 2022, at approximately 12:16 p.m., I was summoned to IU Health Hospital, Bedford, Indiana. Upon my arrival, I was informed by Department of Child Services caseworker Emily Werner that 18-month-old, that's redacted, was being flown by helicopter to IU Health Riley's Children's Hospital in Indianapolis, Indiana. Werner advised that it had presented to IU Health Hospital, Bedford, November 23rd, 2022 at approximately 11:01 a.m. with what had been diagnosed as a brain bleed, a broken collarbone, and head and facial bruising. Pictures of the child prior to being transported to Indianapolis revealed a swollen and deformed head and bruising on her forehead and the left and right sides of her face. Red, brownish marks were observable underneath both eyes. Werner reported DCS had previously received 2 anonymous hotline tips of possible importance to this matter. The first tip was received on November 17th, 2022 at 1:26 p.m., 6 days prior to this incident. The caller reported suspicious smells coming from near the apartment where the child lived with her mother. The caller reported smelling marijuana and a strong chemical drug-like smell. The caller reported mother had admitted using marijuana and was suspected of using meth. The caller reported seeing lightened bruises on the child's face and had been told that she had fallen out of bed. The caller reported the bruising had been present for less than a week and that there were no concerns about the child having been physically abused. The second anonymous tip to DCS occurred November 23rd, 2022 at approximately 10:58 a.m. According to the report, the child's injuries are possibly abuse-related, that it appeared to be non-accidental and was suspicious and or inconsistent with the explanation given for the injury. The report also alleges an unreasonable delay, refusal, or failure on the part of caregiver to seek, obtain, and or maintain the necessary medical care. The caller reported the child had what appeared to be 3 fingerprint marks on one side of her face and 1 on the other, consistent with what seemed to have been caused by someone grabbing her face and squeezing. The caller described the child's condition as lethargic, that she would not wake up, she appeared half dead, and she could barely hold her head up. The caller stated the child's mother left for work, leaving the child with the individual she had been living with despite the child's condition. On November 23rd, 2022, Hill advised redacted woke up whining at approximately 3:40 a.m. and she noticed the swelling on the child's forehead had returned. Hill did not feel it was something serious enough to call an ambulance. Hill explained she felt as a mom she would know if something was wrong with her baby. Hill subsequently admitted that was a failure on her part. Hill stated that she herself woke up at 8 a.m. later that morning and the child was still sleeping and she heard her snoring. She stated she was surprised that the child was sleeping that late and was not whining. She went into Cameron's bedroom and talked with him for about 40 minutes before returning to where the child was sleeping. She said Cameron told her the child looked pale. Hill gently pulled on the child and called her name. Hill noticed the child breathing was shallow and she was posturing, describing that the child's hands and feet were tensing and constricting up. She advised she gently pulled on the child and called her name and that she put water in her mouth, but the child did not respond. Hill stated that she flicked water in the child's face and the child responded to that with a moaning sound and grunted. Hill opened the child's eyes and noticed they did not dilate but seemed normal. Hill stated she tried to get the child to respond or wake up until 9:30 when she left for work. She stated that she smoked marijuana before she left because she was freaking out and worried, and marijuana helps when she's stressed. On November 23rd, 2022, Cameron Fleming, Hill's boyfriend, who shares an apartment with Hill, and reported when Hill first came to his apartment, Hill would throw the child's food on the floor for her to eat. She referred to it as free roaming. Wow. The boyfriend, Fleming, reported on November 22nd after Hill picked up the child from the babysitter. The child's forehead injury was much worse, huge, and looked Klingonish. He described it was so big that one side of the swelling was down further on the forehead than the other. Cameron reported it was at this point he realized the child should go to the hospital. He stated, when the injury originally happened, we all told Hill that the child needed to go to the hospital. Cameron reported on the morning of November 23rd, 2022, that he and Hill checked on the child shortly after 9 a.m. before Hill left for work. He described the child at that time as lying face up with her legs straight up as if they were tensed up. Cameron stated the child appeared pale and uncomfortable with her eyes partially open. He said her breathing was labored and erratic, explaining the child would take a breath and then not take another breath for 10 to 25 seconds. He stated the child was snoring and he had never heard her snore before. He stated that he observed a hematoma on her forehead that had been there for 8 to 10 days. He stated Hill had previously told him that injury was from the child getting hit on an end table. He stated Hill initially attempted to wake the child by talking to her and gently shaking her and mentioning that the babysitter and her boyfriend had told her the child had been sleepy all day the day before, which made her think the child just needed sleep. Cameron stated that he told Hill he didn't think that was the case, that it was worse than that. He stated that he believed Hill thought the same thing, but stated that she had to go to work. Cameron advised prior to Hill leaving for work that morning. Hill told him, if the child wakes up, take her downstairs. It struck him as odd that Hill would leave the child in that condition and go to work, knowing that the child was at least impaired or that she was that bad. Cameron opined Hill was neglectful to the child, and he felt guilty because Hill cared more about him than the child, Evelyn Nunez, a co-worker of Hill's, reported that after arriving at work on November 23rd, 2022, Hill asked her, did you ever have a problem with your baby not wanting to wake up? Nunez stated Hill told her, well, my baby won't wake up, before continuing on with her work. Nunez recalled to be on November 15th, 2022, Hill had told her she had a child that was born with a brain tumor that bled occasionally. Donna Fortner, a co-worker of Hill's, reported that Hill told her she couldn't wake her child that morning, and that when Cameron woke her up, she was incoherent. Michelle Barrow, the child's babysitter, reported that the child had a big goose egg on her forehead on November 15, 2022, that was supposedly caused by her falling off the bed. She stated Hill told her that she had contacted the doctor's office about the injury and was told it would go away in 5 days or so. Barrow stated she babysat for the child on the 15th, 16th, and 17th from 1 to 8 p.m. Excuse me, and the size of the knot did not change but did cause the child's eyes to squint a little. She stated during this time frame that she again told Hill she needed to take the child to the emergency room. Barrows stated, the bruising on the child's face became more prominent beneath her eyes and on her cheeks as the time wore on. Barrows stated on one occasion when she noticed small dark bruises on the child's face, she explained the child had gotten her head stuck in the futon, upside down, and could not get out. Barrow reported during this time frame, the child's personality seemed to change, that she seemed clingy, wanting to be close to her, and did not want to do anything by herself. Barrow reported when she babysat the child on November 22nd, 2022, the swelling was back. Kevin Cliff, Barrow's fiancé, reported that he had observed the child's head injury on November 15, 2022. He described it as a mass that was so swollen and pronounced it had caused swelling in the child's eyes and lips. He stated that when he and Barrow told Hill she needed to take the child to the hospital, she responded by telling them, under no circumstances are you to call an ambulance or take her in yourself. I will make the decisions. This is my child. He stated that Hill told them the child was all right, that it was just swelling from where she hit her head. On November 23rd of 2022, Hill received a message from Cameron stating that the child needed to go to the hospital. She left work and took her to IU Health Bedford Hospital. Kara Fleming, neighbor of Hill in the apartment complex and the wife of Hill's boyfriend, reported Hill and her husband began living together mid-September 2022. She stated that on one occasion she had observed Hill toss 4 donuts on the floor for the child to eat, explaining that the child free ranges or free roams. Kara additionally advised on or about November 17th of 2022 she noticed a large hematoma on the child's forehead. She describes that injury as being as wide as the child's entire forehead and about 2 inches deep. The child's entire forehead was swollen. Kara stated that both Hill and Cameron told her that the child had fallen off of the bed and hit her head on the hardwood floor, but about 3 days later, Hill told her the injury was from running into the counter. On October 7th, 2022, Hill sent a text message to Cameron stating that the child was effing terrible last night. When we came back, I wouldn't stop crying. I wanted to throw her. Believed to be referring to... On October 13th, 2022, Hill sent a text message to Cameron, let me get this a-hole to bed, believed to be referring to the child. On November 11th, 2022, Shan Hill told a coworker, Sherry Davidson, that the child was sick and she may get a phone call to take her to the emergency room. Hill told Davidson the child was born with a tumor on her brain and it was bleeding. Davidson said a day later, Hill told her the child fell off the bed and hit her head and it caused bleeding on the brain. Davidson told Hill if it was her child, she would have them at the hospital and would not even be at work, but Hill continued to work. Davidson recalled on another occasion, Hill informed her the child had gotten her head stuck in the futon when they were asleep. Davidson asked Hill if she took the child to the hospital. Hill said no. Davidson told Hill, if she has a tumor and it's bleeding, you need to take her to the hospital. What is wrong with you? Hill replied, I don't have to go to the hospital. The child is going to be okay. On November 13th of 2022, Jeremiah Zolman, an acquaintance of Cameron Fleming, who also lives in the same apartment building, sent a text message to a friend regarding Hill and redacted, reporting redacted had 2 black eyes and her hair was falling out. On November 18th, 2022, Hill told a coworker, Nunez, her little girl had a broken collarbone. Nunez recalled being told that the man, name unknown to Nunez, she lives with, did not like her little girl, and she believes he was hurting her. On November 21st, 2022, she stated to coworker Fortner that her baby used to be beautiful and now she's ugly. On November 22nd of 2022, Hill told the coworker Fortner that Cameron would not mind marrying her if she didn't have a baby. On December 9th of 2022, Detective Andrea Barnett interviewed Carol Zolman, who resides in the same apartment complex as Hill. According to Detective Barnett's report, Carol stated on November 1st, 2022, she had the opportunity to speak with Hill and see the child. Carol thought the child had chocolate all over her face, but she realized it was bruises. Hill told Carol the child randomly jumps off things and falls on the floor and pulls at her ears and hair so much she has bruising. Before ending the conversation, Hill looked down and said, "One day she's going to kill somebody." On November 23rd, 2022, after being transferred to Riley Hospital IU Child Protection Program, nurse practitioner Andrea Powers' report states that at this time there has been no accidental history provided that would account for the patient's traumatic and likely fatal injuries. Further, there has been no medical condition identified that would predispose the patient to these findings. Her medical evaluation is ongoing. At this time, the patient's constellation of injury is most characteristic of NAT-inflicted injury, child abuse. In addition to the above impression, the history provided of the child's clinical state at home over a period of several hours described as grunting, unable to be woken up, posturing, unresponsive, without a caregiver seeking medical care for the child is consistent with medical neglect. On November 25th, 2022, Indiana Donor Network Family Service representative Erin Lane made a note in her report that Hill referred to her child as not a nice kid and stated that she, Hill, believes the child would have been the next Jeffrey Dahmer. Hill stated something was not right with her. On November 26, 2022, the child was pronounced dead at 4:35 p.m. According to the deputy coroner's report per hospital staff, the child appeared to be malnourished and approximately 10 pounds underweight. Hill stated to D.C. Hernitor when she picked the child up from the babysitter on November 22nd, she was told the child had been sleeping on and off all day, which was abnormal. The next morning, November 23rd, 2022, at approximately 8:40 a.m., upon checking the child, she was pale and was not able to be woken up and appeared to have difficulty breathing. Hill flicked water on her face, and stated that she grunted. Hill stated that she went to work and did not take her to the hospital because she did not have a working vehicle. On November 29th, 2022, a post-mortem examination conducted by pathologist Dr. Amanda Paul revealed the child was malnourished, had a laceration to her upper and lower frenula that was not from medical intervention, a right acute clavicle fracture, and multiple hemorrhages. Dr. Paul concluded the manner of death was homicide and the injuries would have occurred after November 21st, 2022, and the cause of death was blunt force trauma of the head. On December 7th, 2022, Cheyenne and Hill submitted a stipulated polygraph examination. Indiana State Police Sergeant Polygraph Examiner Jason Sample provided the examination. The following is a summation of the questions asked, answers given, and Sergeant Sample's analysis. Okay. Did you physically injure that girl's head? Answer, no. Are you the person who physically injured that girl's head? Answer, no. Do you know for sure who physically injured that girl's head? Answer, no. Based on the information furnished to the examiner and the analysis of the polygraph chart data collected during this examination, it is the opinion of this examiner that the subject, Cheyenne Hill, was not truthful to the above listed relevant questions. The results of her polygraph examination were deception indicated. In a post-polygraph interview, Cheyenne Hill told me she feels like she did not pass the test because she feels like she failed the child. I told Cheyenne she she's seen the state redacted was in that morning, yet you still go to work. Cheyenne replied, because I had to provide for my daughter. I asked Cheyenne who would do that. She replied, someone who is about to be homeless. I told her, in a time of crisis, that is unimaginable, and her, Cheyenne, referring to being Jeffrey Dahmer, Cheyenne Hill began to laugh, and she said, the child is an a-hole. For the foregoing reasons, I have probable cause to believe that the defendant named herein committed the offenses stated herein above. Review and insurance of arrest warrant, if warranted. Okay, so that's pretty horrendous, right? Okay. People are just crazy. Really crazy. People would die to have a baby. Other people cause the baby to die. Does it make sense? Okay, so happy October 1st. My coffee is black. My coffee is not black. Someone showed. Hi, Marianne. Oh, yeah, totally evil. So what else is going on? I'll look in a second. I don't know why. Why am I getting... Well, I know why I'm feeling like tired. I know why I am. I know why I am, because I've been up and going all freaking day. Oh, and then I forgot to tell you. Yes, and then did the kettlebells. We did the kettlebells too. And don't be a salty heifer. So, yeah, no wonder I feel like I'm passing out here. There were no adults in her life and no one gave a crap about this child. Right, but they, you know, have these babies. It's just, I don't get it. Okay. And half them, if they're taking so much drugs, but they're still fertile, right? Still having babies, still, I don't know. Good night, Cranky. Are you going to bed? Well, they got the Maya trial tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what that brings. So let's see what else is going on here. Hi, K-Love. How are you? Okay. I think we can probably move on into the other stream early because I don't know how I'm going to make it so much. Let me go change the time of the other stream. That's not that one. I think we can probably move on into the other stream early because I don't know. So hold on. What I'm going to have to do is go in here and change the time. Hang on. There's already 8 people waiting in there, and it's not for another half an hour. Okay. Let me go in here. First of all, get rid of this for sure. Okay. There we go. Save that. And hang on. Customize. We're going to customize. I have to change the time. So we'll put it to 12. Let's do 12:30. Save. I'll put a redirect on here. Okay, let's do a redirect. Customization and redirect. Yeah, because I don't know how long I'm going to last, and I just want to clear up some of the ignorance. Okay, the last defense to doctors refuted the other doctor's testimony. Boom. Talking about in Maya's case, Julie. Okay. Oh, and Julie, you were calling me. You know, I thought Jimmy had answered the phone, and I just found out recently he hadn't. So we'll have to touch base tomorrow. I don't know what happened. Okay, let me go to. Then I put the redirect on it. Okay, so I'm going to see you guys over there. Okay. Just go to the next slide, please.